Good morning. It's time for Latin. I'm sorry I'm just getting this video out this morning, but between noise and computer usage and other things going on yesterday, I wasn't able to actually sit down and get a video made. So we're doing it this morning and I'll send it out before lunch. So hopefully you guys will have a chance to work on it when you normally do or when you have a chance to. So we're going to play a game this morning. I want you to pause the video after I give these instructions. Go find a ruler or measuring stick, a yardstick would be great, and measure 10 feet from wherever you're watching this video, and then put the ruler at the 10-foot mark, and then come back and start the video. Okay, so we're going to play a game similar to what we played in class, where I'm going to say a Latin word from lesson 7. We're just going to do Latin words from lesson 7 before we get into lesson 8, because lesson 8 has quite a few new words for us. So I want us to make sure we know the previous words first. And I'm going to call a Latin word, and then you're going to answer in English. And after a pause, you don't have to pause, I'll be pausing on the video, but after I pause and you decide what the word is, then I will give you the answer. If you got it right, go ahead and take a small baby step forward. If you did not get it correct, then you're going to remain where you are. And hopefully you guys, after about 10 to 12 words, will be at the 10-foot mark where you marked, but if not, that's okay, because it's been a while and it's a lot easier to do this in class. So let's begin. The first word is pugio. Pugio. What is the English meaning or translation of pugio? Hopefully you chose dagger. It's a dagger. So if you got that correct, go ahead and take a baby step forward. If you didn't, stay where you are. So our next word, Gallia. Gallia. Gallia is a helmet. So again, if you got that correct, take your baby step. If not, stay where you are. Now I'm going to say an English word, and you see if you remember the Latin. It is shield. What is the Latin translation for shield? Scutum. Scutum is the Latin translation for shield. So take your step or stay where you are. How about this one? Stop. So tell me the Latin for stop. Siste. Siste. I think most of you probably got that one. Ooh, this one's a hard one, so I'm going to give you the Latin and you see if you remember the English for it. Lorica. Lorica. If you said breastplate, you were correct. How about quid est? Quid est? And you would be right in thinking it's a question, so what is the question? And it is, what is it? Very good. So take a step forward or stay where you are. How about leave it? That's the English. What's the Latin for leave it? Relinque. Relinque. Okay, here's another command. You ready? Kawe. Kawe. Or kawi. Maybe better pronounced kawi. And be careful. Be careful. Let's try this one. Pilum. Pilum. What is pilum? Javelin. I think some of you boys may be getting some of these. Javelin. Although Grace, I'm sorry, you're usually pretty good with knowing these two, so I shouldn't just say boys. So it's a javelin. Okay, we have about 3 more on this page. Now this is a long word. Let's see if you remember this. Pericolosis. Pericolosis. And you were correct if you thought it was dangerous. That's dangerous. Gladius. Gladius. Sword. Very good. Sword. So take a step forward or stay where you are. Okay. This one I think we've had in the past, so this will be a review one. Let's see if you get this one. Ekke. Ekke. Look. That's right. It's to look. And I think that's it on this page. That is all on this page. If it would help you to draw a picture of a gladiator and maybe label parts like the helmet, sword, javelin, shield, breastplate, dagger. Sometimes people learn better with pictures, so that might help you. And then to practice those commands where maybe you have somebody give you a command and you have to act it out, that would be a good way to remember that too. So I'm going to go on to the next page. There's just 6, 7 on this page, and they're almost all commands here. And so, oh, by the way, let me know if any of you reached 10 feet. That would be fun to hear from you guys to see how many of you got to do that. So these are almost all commands. And so we're gonna play a little bit different game with this page. I'm gonna command, and then I want you to do the action. And then I'll tell you what the action was afterwards. So there's 7 of them. Let's see if you can get at least 5 of them correct. Okay. Now, this was not a command, but it is a type of person. So when I say this type of person, you get in a position like that person might be. Okay. Milites. Milites. There's a little word in there that we use. There's a root word in there that we use for this kind of a person too. So if you became like a soldier, you were correct. So milites is similar to what word that you can think of that we have soldiers in? The military. That's correct. So milites or milites, kind of, you remember our British pronunciation is a little bit different than sometimes the American pronunciation. So here are some commands. First one, Procedite. Procedite. Go forward. So if you walked forward, you were correct. You obeyed the command. Okay. Here's your next command. Sumite. Sumite. So if you reach down to pick something up, to pick up, that was a good follow-up on that command. Okay, here's another one. Audite. Audite. And this is listen. So if you just stop to listen to me, then you've actually obeyed. Very good. Portate. Portate. And this is to carry. So if you carried an object, that was good. A lot of these words have root words, our root words, to American words or English words that we use that represent similar things. For instance, if you look at the word portate, portat, a porter is somebody who would carry your things. And so we have, and there are other words in there, to import, okay, to carry or bring from outside. Audite, listen, audio. Audio has to do with anything related to listening. Latin really is very useful to us as we practice learning new and larger words and helping to understand them even before we know the meaning, because we can try to figure out the meaning based on their root, and if we understand the Latin, then a lot of times we can figure that word out. Okay, I have 2 more commands. Okay. Dimitite, dimitite. So to put down. Very good. So if you acted like you were putting something down, good job. Okay. How many people have done at least 5 out of the 6? Okay, here's your last chance if you need that 5th one. Okay. Testudinem facite. Testudinem facite. This is going to be a fun one. Make a tortoise. So if you looked in your book on page 42, you would see the shields that are like this and like this. Okay, and that's called making a tortoise, so that it protected the whole group. So you could have made yourself like a tortoise, perfectly fine. But if you pretended like you had a shield up here and a shield down here, that would have been fine too. So good job. There's some activities that I think we already did in these, because it's been a little bit. So if you want to pause the video, if you don't already have your book, go ahead and get your book out, and we're going to be looking on page 46, and I actually have to get my computer up and running. I thought I had it here, but I don't. We're looking at time for a bath, clean and healthy. So everything related to the next 2 lessons are about being healthy, clean, taking a bath, personal hygiene, maybe even like things that are warm or hot. So you're going to have some a few adjectives, but mostly you're going to have something called adverbs, and we're not going to really go into that until our next lesson. But we are going to hear them, and then you're going to be practicing them. And I'm actually going to have you do just one lesson and a half a lesson, because there's so many words in this one, and I want you guys to have a good week of just practicing these words. So let me get to my recording here, and it'll be just like class. There'll be a little bit of pause on the video, and we will, well, maybe not. Wow, my computer acted a lot faster than normal. So I'm gonna get the track up. If you want to get your books out and you can follow along, and hopefully I can get the computer close so you can hear.
Chapter 8, Clean and Healthy. Time for a bath. In the morning, Lepidina and Flavia usually visit the military bathhouse. Here they meet their women friends. They begin with some exercises. Lepidina et Flavia hilariter ludunt.
Lepidina et Flavia in appaduterio sunt, celeritur exuunt.
Lepidina et Flavia in tepidario sunt, signiter recumbunt.
Lepidina et Flavia in caldario sunt, ancillae prudenter radunt.
Lepidina et Flavia in frigidario sunt, se breviter submergunt.
Lepidina et Flavia cum amicis gariunt, laetae et purae sunt.
Okay, so I'm going to play that again. There were a lot of words in that. And I want you to glance really quickly at the words to help. And then we're going to go back and look at the pictures again. The one thing I want you, 2 things I want you to notice actually. First, for right now, is that each of them has a sentence that states the people and where they are. And it's Lepidina and Flavia in 5 of these, in all 6 of these actually. So it states who the people are, and then it states what they're doing, but it also, right in the middle of the sentence, it states how they're doing that. The how is a group of words called adverbs. So they're telling how somebody is doing the action. So if you look at the sentence, it says, in the very first one, Lepidina et Flavia hilariter ludunt. So we understand that as we interpret it to be Lepidina and Flawia. And if you look at the words to help, says cheerfully, and then ludunt, they are playing. Okay. Now in English, we would not say Lepidina and Flawia cheerfully they are playing. We would say Lepidina and Flawia are cheerfully playing. Cheerfully is an adverb. It tells us how they're playing. It's a describing word. Many describing words or adverbs have an ly on them. So if you see a word with an ly, it's almost always an adverb, which describes how somebody is doing something. So if you go through, as you're going to be translating these next pictures, you're going to see the pattern to the sentence, and then remember how we would say it in English. Translate it the way we would say it in English, but look at how it is written and arranged, the sentence, in Latin. So I'm going to play this one more time for you, and your homework is going to be to translate the first 4 boxes. You can do 2 today and then 2 another day. So maybe next Tuesday if you're working on Latin next Tuesday. So you're going to do the first 2 boxes. You're going to write them in Latin, close your book, and try to translate them in English. If you need to look at the words to help, look at the words to help. Because the whole point is to grasp an understanding of what the words are. And then I want you to read next week, not today, but on next Tuesday. I want you to read Grasp the Grammar and work on trying to understand what each of these adverbs are. Next week we're going to do an adverb game where you have to kind of act out what the adverb is. So I will play it one more time for you to have it to listen to, and then you can listen to it as many times as you want to. Be sure and do the 2 translations, box 1 and 2 today, and next week box 3 and 4. You can listen to this again next week so you can hear it and try to translate it in your mind as you're hearing it. And then next week, next Tuesday, you're also going to do the Grasp the Grammar. You don't have to write anything down, although a lot of times that helps. Be sure and write down the words to help either on your note cards that you're using or in your notebook, whichever one you do. Okay, so let me play Grasp the Grammar, and then your Latin lesson will be finished.
Chapter 8. Clean and healthy. Time for a bath. In the morning, Lepidina and Flawia usually visit the military bathhouse. Here they meet their women friends. They begin with some exercises. Lepidina et Flawia hilariter ludunt.
Lepidina et Flawia in appaduterio sunt, celeriter exunt.
Lepidina et Flawia in tepidario sunt, segniter recumbunt.
Lepidina et Flawia in caldario sunt, ancillae prudenter radunt.
Lepidina et Flawia in frigidario sunt, se breviter submergunt.
Lepidina et Flawia cum amicis garriunt, laetae et purae sunt.
Okay, very good. I better pause that, it'll start the next one. So have a good week, and I will see you next week for Latin.